Our principal sir is just joining. So once he joined, then we will start. Okay. So schedule is known to you. We will be following the schedule, which I mailed you earlier also. Uh, I hope my screen is visible to you. This screen is visible.
Not yet, Amit. Now it is.
So, on behalf of Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences, I welcome all the participants in the National Work Online Symposium on the Exploring Young Mind for Holistic Development. Okay, so within 10 minutes we will be starting. Let us wait for the other participant to join and then we will start. So, on behalf of Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences, I welcome you all to the National Symposium on Exploring Young Mind for the Holistic Development. In this symposium, we got the participants, young participants all over the India from many states, and they have submitted their problems and the solutions based on their mind, based on their thinking. And on behalf of Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences, I welcome you all. And this symposium is basically getting the solutions from the young mind, young learning mind, and then sharing it with the nation. So this is the National Work Symposium where we got these participants from all over the nation, from at least 5 different states, including Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, Haryana, and Delhi itself. And I welcome you all again, and I request our principal sir to please welcome the gathering.
Thank you, Dr. Amit. Good morning, everybody. And my dear friends, today it is about the young mind, and that is the you can say that the young generations they are always dynamic and energetic, and this dynamism that should be channelized in a proper way. And the same thing it is also mentioned in the new education policy. It's how to channelize in the proper direction because it's the right time when the particular fellow is in the youth at the youth time, they must be directed in such a manner so that they can utilize their brain in a positive way and they can come up with some innovation ideas. And everybody knows that means a particular student whenever he is coming from school to college level, higher education level, generally they are very intelligent. And whenever to this intelligence, when your innovation idea, then definitely this dynamism will be at the peak, and he or she will contribute something to our society and to the nation, to himself or herself. So this is the motto of this new education policy, and whatever you are right now, the symposium you are organizing, that is also in the same manner. Means what are the solutions? Means everybody is coming with the problems. Nobody is thinking about the solution. Just to point out the problems, it is very, very easy to find out the solution. It is very, very difficult. So that's why to find out the solution, some dynamism and energize youths are required. And now this symposium may help the young generation to come up with some good solutions so that we can. Means right now it is where we have self belief that definitely we can do that if you want or will move in that particular direction. So this symposium will help you a lot and you will learn and many expertise or whosoever is the speaker will be giving the good lecture about this one. I wish you all the best for this symposium.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Basically, there are more than 20 participants, and they are young participants from schools, from colleges, from different institutes, from university also, and they
Don't
are
go by the
sharing.
numbers. Don't go by the numbers. Is it 20? It maybe means after some time it may be 40 or 50 like that. Don't go by the numbers.
Yes, sir.
Carry
Yes,
on.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So, I would like to start with the session, and I introduce you to our session chair, Dr. Madhulika Vajpayee. Ma'am, please, if you can guide us and carry forward the event. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Greetings on the day of 2nd October, which marks the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi and Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. And it's a wonderful occasion to talk about innovation and brilliant minds. And as the poster says about Abdul Kalam saying that bright minds are the future of the nation. I would also want to start my brief introduction about the college. That ours is essentially a science college right now, and we have I am from psychology, discipline of psychology, and holistic development is something which is very close to my heart. आप सब ये मानेंगे अगर आप इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करके देखें impression on you. उसका आपको क्या याद है? Do you remember that how much he or she scored, or which comparative exam he cracked, or where he or she is working? What you remember most about a person, or the lasting impression you have about a person, is how that person made you feel, right? Somehow, in the quest of excellence, perfection, we have probably lost somewhere the need to be good human beings, right? I know probably what I'm saying right now sounds little preachy to the younger minds, but trust me, after 22 years of teaching, I can tell you the best of our brains have also worked very hard on their other skills. So, to those of you who are not in psychology or social sciences, I'll just tell you what holistic development is about. And as principals have correctly said, new education policy also talks about holistic development of children, especially when you start young, right? Research has shown that if we use holistic approach to education, it fires up all parts of brains and it helps in complete development of a child or an individual. So holistic education is something which caters to five aspects of our personality. That includes, of course, the IQ that we all are obsessed with. Then, apart from that, language, emotion, our social relationships, and very important, spirituality as well. I see a quote by Dalai Lama also pretty often, which I quote in my classes, that if you teach compassion and meditation to young children from the age of 5, we probably can erase war in one generation, right? So I have looked at the topics that all of you are going to speak about today. The list is, and the choice of topics is very impressive. My best wishes to all of you. But besides what you're going to speak about in your respective sessions, what I want you to remember is what Aristotle said. The whole is more than sum of its parts. So your numbers, your academic excellence, or any of your achievements do not define you completely. You're more than what you score. You're more than what you achieve in life, right? So let's have a larger perspective towards life on the and the birth anniversary of two great men of our nation. We have so much to learn from them: humility, patriotism, self-reliance, not taking any kind of dictatorship on ourselves. There's so much to learn if we are only open to learning. I welcome you all on behalf of Bhaskaracharya College and look forward to hearing the young minds tell what wonderful things we can do. And good to see someone talking about stress also here. And besides this, I could say, as my closing remarks, that COVID pandemic has probably, or if it is not already, should make us reflect back and think of what हमारी life की priorities now. Right? हम वो चीज़ों को हम imagine नहीं कर सकते थे. Life without them we could not imagine. We're leading our lives pretty fine without them. So let's have a relook at our lives. Let's reprioritize what's important, and do remember it's never too early to start, right? So if you start now, it's almost the time, right? You don't have to wait for another 5-10 years for this enlightenment or the realization to dawn. You can start right now and never stop back. My best wishes to all the participants and look forward to hearing you young minds tell about what the problems are and what possible solutions you are offering. Good luck and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. With your permission, I will ask the participant to please start the session. If you have given me the permission, ma'am, I seek your permission kindly. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we will start with Mr. Yashraj. Mr.
Yes, sir.
Yashraj. Yashraj, you are present.
Yes,
So you can share your views and your ideas on the problem that you have stated, and you first introduce yourself and then start. You can share your screen
Okay.
also. You can share your video also. Anywhere you feel comfortable, you can share your views.
Okay, sir.
Yashraj, yes.
Good morning to all of you. Myself Yashraj, the student of Lucknow Public School.
Good morning, Ishma.
My topic is how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected teachers and teaching.
Upon the day, sharing what happened during the day with their families and just spending time with one another. Now, this is a rule that we all know, we all have heard about, but it is very difficult to implement. But once you do implement, it is very fruitful. As you can see from the example of Kumar Mangalam Birla, and not only him, but billionaires and millionaires all around the world, like Warren Buffett, also follows this rule with his family. Now, another great solution comes from many successful people in many fields, and it is a simple solution of separating your work and personal lives. Now, again, we have heard about this, and this was being implemented before the pandemic to some extent, where you had fixed working hours. But when everything is digital and you are able to get a hold of someone at the click of a touch, where services are available 24/7, this becomes more and more difficult, separating work from personal lives. Now, this may be beneficial to the customers, a 24/7 service where they can call and they can ask for help at any point. But the main sufferers are the ones who provide these services at the ground level and their family members. And this is basically what our inability to separate work from our personal lives. This is basically the proof of a growing culture in all our lives globally. And this culture is a culture of urgency. Now, this is the reason that I chose this topic, because this is a different point of view that I wanted to introduce to in this national. Yeah, because our unknowingly, knowingly, this culture of creating urgency has swept in our daily lives. Where once earlier the emails which used to come, they had to wait till the start of the next day to be answered. A period of 2 to 3 working days to be answered. But now they have to be answered at the instant they are received. even if it is night or it is 3 a.m. We have international calls going on at 3 a.m. Simply the ability to reach everyone at the touch of a screen or the tap of a button has created this culture of urgency. Now, this culture of creating urgency comes from two sides. One is the where we ourselves feel an urgent requirement to respond to text with our friends, to respond to letters, to respond to emails, or to even talk to our family members. And another comes from the corporations, the our employers, the companies, the MNCs, because they are now promising their users, their customers 24/7 services, because of which the ground level people are the ones that are suffering. However, these two are not to be blamed. Are not to be blamed only. Another main component are our OS making companies. Now, these companies, OS making companies, would be largely the Android and the iOS making companies. So Apple and Google, including other OSs. Now, these companies use many psychological tricks in their OS that creates this culture of urgency. Now, I will give a small example of the same. Have you seen whenever you get a new WhatsApp message or you get a message your badges are in red color. So as you can see in this small picture, on Twitter you have 20, on Instagram you have 1. Now these are the notifications. Now every color over here is done very intentionally. Every color has its own significance, and the reason for a red badge for notifications is because it has been psychologically proven in a study that red color attracts us more. It meets our eyes faster due to its wavelength, and it creates the emotion of danger and urgency in our minds. So whenever we see red icons, red badges, small badges on the top of our applications, we wish to open them and wish to check those applications, those notifications, which increases the use of these applications, hence profiting these companies. So such so this is just one example of how color schemes can be used by these OS making companies to attract us to use their smartphones, their devices, their applications more and more. Now, where there is a problem, there is a solution, and there is a solution built right into our devices. Now, this solution is known as grayscale. What grayscale does is it extracts all your colors from the smartphones and turns it black and white. Now, this is available on both iOS and Android phones. Now, I personally tried using this grayscale for a week challenge. So I went a whole week with black and white screens, and I can confirm to you that my phone usage went 70 to 80% down. My screen time went 70 to 80% down when I was using the grayscale mode on my phone. Now, obviously, my phone was a lot less attractive. I didn't feel like using my phone, and I didn't feel like opening these applications and checking these again and again, but doing only the important task on my phone. So this is a solution that can be implemented and that can be used by everyone on their own choice, which will help in breaking down the screen time. Now, obviously, one solution cannot, a simple solution, a pointers cannot be implemented by everyone. So we need to find and tailor solutions to personal needs of everyone. And I would like to end with a quote by Lal Bahadur Shastri. Lal Bahadur Shastri once said that there comes a time in the life of every nation when it stands at the crossroads of history, must choose which way to go. And I believe this is applicable not only to every nation but also to our personal lives. There comes a time in our personal lives where we stand at the crossroads of history and we must decide which way to go. So this pandemic is the crossroad of our lives where we have to choose between increased use of screen time and spending times with our loved ones. And because of this, we need tailored solutions to our personal needs because we owe it not only to ourselves but also to our loved ones. Thank you again, everyone, to giving me a chance to speak on this topic, and for the organizers to selecting me to give me a chance. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Sarthak. It was a wonderful talk. I have a simpler solution than going grayscale or putting your phone on a high power mode. What you could probably do is you could stop the notifications from all the social media accounts, which makes you, which urges you to check your phone over and over again, and that's something I'm saying to all the young people. And with regards to technology, we need to understand that technology will grow by leaps and bounds as the human brain evolves. Everything has its flip side and its positives, of course. And for example, marijuana, right? It has pharmacological properties, but it can also be misused for one's own destruction. So we need to see, as you said, that tailor-made decisions. We need to see how we allow technology to invade our lives, as we give example of Kumar Villa, Maranam Villa, that they decide. So we all have the power to choose what's right for us. And with that power, it also gives us strength to be more determined about making the right choices for ourselves. So using technology for our own benefit and letting it not interfere with our lives and not making us couch potatoes is something that we need to decide. We can't just pass it on to the technology, onto the iOS makers, onto the phone makers, because they are into profiteering. Right? We need to see what aspects of anything that appeals to us we take and we reject it. Right? The decision always lies with the human. We make the right choices, the technology works for us. If we do not make the right choices, nothing works for us. Thank you very much for your wonderful suggestion. I hope all the young ones here and even the not so young ones will take up your suggestion and see how they can use their smartphones more optimally. Right? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving this chance, and thank you for your suggestions.
Thank you, Sarthak. Next is Mr. Manas Kumar Verma from Arvachin Bharti Bhavan School.
Yes,
Manas?
sir.
Yes, Manas.
Good morning, everyone. At first, I want to say thanks to event coordinator, session chair, and principal sir of Bhaskar Acharya College of Applied Sciences for giving me this opportunity and a huge platform to present myself in this pandemic time. I am Manas Kumar Verma from class 8A Arvachan Bharti Bhavan School, Vivek Vihar. I am sharing my PPT on COVID 19. First, I want to tell you about coronavirus. Coronavirus are a large family of viruses which may cause illness in animals or humans. In humans, several coronaviruses are known to cause respiratory infections, ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases such as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome (MERS) and severe acute respiratory syndrome (SARS). The most recently discovered coronavirus causes coronavirus disease COVID-19. Other symptoms that are less common and may affect some patients include itches and pains, nasal congestion, headache, conjunctivitis, sore throat, diarrhea, loss of taste or smell, or a rash on skin or discoloration of fingers or toes. These symptoms are usually mild and begin gradually. Some people become infected but only have very mild symptoms. Fever, chills, cough, runny nose, diarrhea, fatigue, headache, body aches, loss of taste or smell, nausea or vomiting, shortness of breath. or difficulty breathing, sore throat are some symptoms of COVID-19. Now I will tell you effect of COVID-19 on older people and those with underlying medical problems. Most people, about 80%, recover from the disease without needing hospital treatment. Around 1 out of every 5 people who gets COVID-19 become seriously ill and develops difficulty breathing. Older people and those with underlying medical problems like high blood pressures, heart and lungs problems, diabetes, or cancer are at higher risk of developing serious illness. However, anyone can catch COVID 19 and become seriously ill. People of all ages who experiences fever and cough associated with difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, chest pain or chest pressure or loss of speech or movement should seek medical attention immediately. Now I am telling you about COVID-19 spread or how COVID-19 spreads. COVID-19 is mainly spread through respiratory droplets expelled by someone who is coughing or has other symptoms such as fever or tiredness. Many people with COVID-19 experiences only mild symptoms. This is particularly true in the early stages of the diseases. It is possible to catch COVID-19 from someone who has just a mild cough and does not feel ill. Some reports have indicated that people with no symptoms can transmit the virus. It is not yet known how often it happens. How to prevent COVID-19? Practicing hand and respiratory hygiene is important at all times and is the best way to protect others and yourself.
Manas, we are not able
Yes,
to
sir.
get your presentation. Are you presenting or just voice presentation?
Sir, I am presenting.
So could you please share your presentation? There is a window on the right hand side that which says that present now. You have to click that. Otherwise, you can go ahead like this also. If you are concluding, you can conclude like this also. Because I got your presentation, I thought it would be better to present than voice.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Now we are getting your presentation. Now we are getting your presentation. Please, go to the slide which you were discussing.
Okay, sir.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you.
Welcome, sir. When possible, maintain at least a 1 meter distance between yourself and others. This is especially important if you are standing by someone who is coughing or sneezing, since some infected persons may not have yet be exhibited symptoms or their symptoms may be mild. Maintaining a physical distance with everyone is a good idea if you are in an area where COVID-19 is spreading. While some Western traditional or home remedies may provide comfort and alleviate symptoms of mild COVID-19, there are no medicines that have been shown to prevent or cure the disease. WHO does not recommend self-medication with any medicine, including antibiotics, as a prevention or cure for COVID-19. However, there are several ongoing clinical trials of both Western and traditional medicines. Is there any vaccine for COVID-19? WHO is coordinating efforts to develop vaccines and medicines to prevent and treat COVID-19 and will continue to provide updated information as soon research results become available. The most effective ways to protect yourself and others against COVID-19 are: clean your hands frequently and thoroughly. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Cover your cough with the band of elbow or tissue if a tissue is used. Discard it immediately and wash your hands. Maintain a distance of at least 1 meter from others. An important note also: antibiotics do not work against viruses. They only work on bacterial infections. COVID-19 is caused by a virus, so antibiotics do not work. Antibiotics should not be used a means of prevention or treatment of COVID-19. In hospitals, physicians will sometimes use antibiotics to prevent or treat secondary bacterial infections, which can be a complication of COVID-19 in severely ill patients. They should only be used as directed by a physician or a of a bacterial infection. Antibiotics. Thanks a lot to all of you once again.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Manas,
Manoj.
for briefing us about COVID, for letting us know what the symptoms are and how should we deal with all the precautions. Thank you very much.
Ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Manas. Next, I request Miss Aisha Goyal. Isha Goyal from
Isha, can we
Hansraj.
have you to begin, please?
Next is Miss Isha Goyal from Hansraj College. Isha Goyal. Isha?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay.
Dr. Amit, can we have a few guidelines for the presenters? Maybe they should limit themselves to 5 minutes and tell us more about what they're suggesting instead of discussing something we all know already, probably.
Yes, yes, yes. So I request all the presenter to please present your ideas in brief within the 4 to 5 minutes so that we can conclude in time. Main focus should be on the problem statement and then the solutions. Thank you very much. Please, Isha, you can your slide is visible. You can present now.
Okay. Have you ever wondered how beautiful the world would be with all those people ready to help each other? Those organizations working for change? A place with no poor people and a great standard of living. Well, if I have to wake up of the dream, I will see one half of it turning real, but not the other. As soon as I wake up of this dream, I can definitely see great number of organizations working for change and a beautiful world. But with that, I also see a lesser change in the standard of living of the people. This makes me think deeply about if these helping hands are really worth it or just an one another scam. Good morning, all out here. This is Isha Goel from Hansraj College, and yes, few today this few minutes of mine will be about analyzing how effective the helping hands or NGOs are in terms of pulling off the poverty. Poverty is, but we did not see any organization taking the sole purpose of removing the poverty. So this can also be a major loophole why the effectiveness of the organizations like NGOs are not being seen. NGOs face various problems like lack of fund, absence of network, lack of maintenance, lack of strategic planning, and so on. According to Asian NGO, which is basically a platform that builds a network between the NGOs and the people who wants to donate funds and all in the NGOs, states the solutions as funding opportunities for NGOs. Just establishing the numbers and increasing the number of NGOs is not the solution. So the NGOs should get funding from various people so that they can use the fund in the best possible way and help in at least removing the poverty somewhat. Strategic planning. Plan is the key to success for every mission, but without planning, nothing can happen. So strategic planning is very necessary for every NGO to develop and success with their purpose. Good governance and network. Good governance is very important for any kind of organization to succeed in their purpose. Increasing the capacity. Various organizations have very low capacity in terms of technical or organizational capacity. So the government or any institution working for NGOs should increase the capacity of the NGOs so that they can increase their leadership, technical, funding, governance skills. Development approach. Various NGOs are nowadays handling the organization with hardware approach, which is not good. Hardware approach means infrastructure and all those, but providing services and empowering people should be the major purpose and should be the development purpose. Advice from expert. Expert advice is must for any organization because experts are the one who experience the things from a long period of time and
Isha,
they can
please,
help the
if
organization.
you could conclude early, please.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
So I would like to conclude my presentation saying that removing poverty is difficult but not impossible for the NGOs. So NGOs should focus on the motto and eradicate poverty accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Isha, for taking up such a noble cause of how can we eradicate poverty. For a country as big as ours, probably leaving it onto NGOs is not just going to help. I think as an individual, if we take responsibility for making our needs more limited, not being a hoarder ourselves, and probably shelling out those who need us, we of course cannot alleviate poverty that way, but we can definitely reduce the burden of some people around us who may be suffering from poverty, right? So let's all of us, including us, and will say Khadbari. Every drop counts. Leaving it on to agencies only to deal with social causes hasn't really helped much. We probably need to also look at the solution of crowdfunding or crowdsourcing, which Gunj does, to help people in need and see if we can, even if temporarily, if we could remove the discomfort people go through because of lack of financial resources. Thank you for your wonderful suggestion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isha. Next is Mr. Saksham Mishra from Delhi Technical University. Saksham?
Yes, sir. I hope I'm audible and
Yes,
I
yes,
hope
yes.
I can see my screen.
Yes, you please share your screen. Please,
Good morning,
Saksham, I
respected
request you to please conclude within 5 minutes, please.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, respected panelists. My name is Saksham Mishra and I am currently enrolled in third semester of BTech course in Engineering Physics, Department of Applied Physics, Delhi Technological University. My problem statement for today is faster adoption of electric vehicles in India to reduce air pollution and country's dependency on fuel imports. This proposal is focused at developing conversion kits for converting petrol, diesel, and CNG vehicles to electric. We shall cover needs, benefits, and technicalities of these conversion kits in the upcoming slides. First of all, why should we even bother to look this way? Well, air pollution has grown more than any other health hazard in India, more so in the last few years. 21 of 30 most polluted cities in the world are Indian, and experts have painted a further grim picture for our future. Talking statistically, vehicular emissions accounted for one-third of carbon and nitrogen oxides and one-fourth of hydrocarbons emitted in atmosphere globally as of 2013. Air pollution causes 12.5 lakh deaths alone in India. The menace of photochemical smog as a result of PM 2.5 and PM 10 emitted from the vehicles is already known to us, as you can clearly see in the visual on your screen. Electric vehicles, on the other hand, are free of any and all kinds of direct emissions, therefore not contributing anything towards air pollution. India is the third largest daily consumer of oil in the world. Also, its annual consumption growth rate is highest in the world at 4% annually. By contrast, Japan has an annual growth rate of negative 0.7%, which is one of the most developed economies in the world. India spent 4% of GDP, or $120 billion in 2017-18 for importing fuel, mainly from the Middle East. As the government aims to reduce import dependency from 84% in 2019 to 50% by 2030, reducing consumption is our only choice, as we have limited oil reserves, and therefore increasing production is not a solution for us. Reasons to pursue vehicular electrification are its high efficiency, low operating cost, and the driving pleasure that comes with it. Conventional vehicles are only 30 to 40% efficient at converting fuel to energy, while more than 90% efficiency is normal for an electric vehicle. You can clearly see the ownership and operating cost for electric vehicles are only about 30 to 40% of their counterparts, as is shown by the cost per kilometer on your screen. Another plus point for electric vehicles is that you no longer have to switch between clutch and brakes in heavy traffic, because there are only two modes, the accelerator and the brake. So just sit back and enjoy the drive. Well, the reason why electric vehicles haven't already taken the market is that they are very costly. Most of them come without a home charging facility, and charging stations in India are too few. So you could probably buy two petrol or diesel vehicles for the cost of one electric vehicle along with its charger. Converted vehicles, on the other hand, are much cheaper than brand new electric vehicles at about 30 to 40% of their cost, and are still cheaper than their petrol and diesel alternatives. Electric vehicle conversion procedure only takes a few days and is much better suited to aid the transition to electric. So, what do you get after conversion? Basically, your vehicle remains the same, thus its structure, the chassis remains the same, and there are no compromises on the performance of your vehicle. Converted electric vehicles save a lot of your hard-earned income than conventional vehicles. You can forget going to the fueling station, as your vehicle will get charged even when you have it parked in your garage. Even some new electric vehicles don't have this facility of charging at home. As mentioned earlier, no more clutch and gears. And you don't have to worry about waterlogging in your area. So, because electric vehicles will work as good even when they are half submerged. As for legal, conversions have been recognized under FAME Policy Phase 2 by Government of India, effective from April 1st, 2019. The conversion kit will be certified by the Automotive Research Authority of India. This proposal aims at developing conversion kits for car models in the vehicle weight range of 1200 to 1500 kilograms and getting it certified by the ARAI. Post installation of these certified kits, the registration will be given by the road transport officer to the converted vehicle. Now, the technical part. The engine, gearbox, transmission, fuel tank, and related systems will go out of the vehicle, and electric motor, along with a motor controller, a battery pack with a battery management system, the BMS, and the battery cooling system will be installed in the car, in the same space where previous systems were installed. These systems altogether will consist of the conversion kit mentioned throughout the presentation. In the conversion kit, the battery pack will consist of a network of lithium iron phosphate, also known as LFP cells, stacked together. It will be complemented by the battery management system. The electric motor is basically the bigger version of what we find in electric fans in our homes. The only addition will be the motor controller to control the input voltage and input current as required. All the figures on your screen, like top speed, max range, and related stuff, has been confirmed from industry standard computer simulations. The numerical figures on your screen have been taken from various studies around the world. Electric vehicles are cheaper to operate, as we have seen throughout the presentation so far. Return on investment here begins at the point when owner has saved the credit spent for actual conversion or purchase. This period is obviously shorter for conversions as they are much cheaper to do. A converted vehicle generates 30 to 40% more savings than a new vehicle over 8 to 10 years. This difference is a lot with respect to the lower middle income group, which is the main beneficiary of this proposal, thereby boosting their financial status and opening a whole new set of opportunities for them. So the possible target sections identified for this proposal are those of commercial drivers, as in who drive the cabs and all in metro cities. The secondary target section is those vehicles which have crossed the maximum permissible age limit of operation, which is 10 years for diesel and 15 years for petrol in New Delhi. So, talking about numbers, the the section of cab drivers has increased by 10 lakh new registrations between 2014 and 2020, and in the next 2 years 3 lakh motor cars will cross the maximum permissible age of operation barrier. All these figures have been sourced from government websites. So it is clearly evident that the potential to change people's lives is enormous with the realization of this proposal. So if you are wondering it will actually take place. So at the beginning, from the date of beginning, it will take 2 months for prototyping. Then for certification by ARAI, it will take another 4 to 5 months. And once the kit has been certified, vehicle can be converted within 2 to 3 days, and finally the vehicle can be handed over to the customer after 10 to 12 days of testing, which is obviously necessary. So we are from a consumer point of view, we are looking at 14 to 15 days period after which the vehicle can be handed over to the customer. So if you are wondering if this is the only category where conversion can be done in case of passenger vehicle,
I request you to please
yes,
conclude first.
So there are only 2 slides left.
Okay, thank you.
So in case you are wondering if 4-wheelers passenger vehicles are the only segment for this conversion category, well, no, actually this can easily be expanded to several other categories. The more effective of these will be the mass transport buses operated by city transport, like DTC in New Delhi. Reason for this is the huge numbers in which these buses are operated, therefore reducing the fuel consumption and cutting emissions significantly. As far as the effectiveness of this proposal is concerned, sadly, it will be a slow process. But if steady work is done, it is bound to reduce pollution and oil, while also boosting the country's economy as it increases the income of the citizens. The visual of India Gate on your screen was taken when the pollution was at its lowest during the recent lockdown. I personally envision a future in which this will be an everyday reality without any lockdown in effect. So that's all from my side. Thank you for being an amazing audience. I once again thank the panelists for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarthak. The model that you suggested is widely applicable in Europe. But I guess there's one small hiccup that we face in a country like India, where power supply is rather, erroneous. Like right now in my house, I stay in Gurgaon, but these power cuts are rather frequent. So once you're suggesting about charging the cars at home, I'm not sure if it is possible for places where the power supply is not continuous. And secondly, when you talk about converting the commercial vehicles for it, we need to have enough charging stations across the cities or wherever we are trying to implement this model before making it a viable option. Even for cabs, if I am not mistaken, I'm saying from my own personal experience, I tried one green car and it probably came with its limitations that it can't go above 40. It tends to heat up in summers. And secondly, it needs to be charged after every 100 kilometers. So just conversion from, of course, it would have an impact on pollution levels, but the way consumers work in our country, or rather across the way humans work as consumers, they will look at what works for them rather than what works for the environment. Otherwise, we would not be in this situation in the first place. So probably you should think of more ways to make them more as efficient as fuel engine cars are, and come up with idea about how can we have more charging stations and reliance on power supply at home would not be a deterrent for charging the vehicles, be it personal or commercial vehicles. That would really make a change. But wonderful suggestion nonetheless. My congratulations to you for coming up with this idea. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. If you would allow, I would like to clarify one of your suggestions, which you just gave me.
Okay.
Ma'am, like you said from your personal experience that you took an electric cab, so their limitation of the speed and range is what has driven me to this solution. And I have, like I said, all the figures that I gave, the range of 200 plus 250 kilometers on a single charge and top speed of 110 kilometers per hour. That's all has been I mean, they have been tested and approved by the industry standard simulations, which is TFA, Tractive Forces Analysis. And I am in contact with the industry, the actual manufacturers, and I am pretty confident that this kit which I am developing is of those specifications which will give a range of 250 kilometers and along with a speed of 100 kilometers per hour.
As I said, my best wishes to you. If it is materialized, nothing would make us more happy. Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Saksham. Next, I would invite Miss Chityala Monica from Karimnagar. Monica?
Yes, sir.
Monica, you can share your screen and your presentation. Monica will be talking about the online classes. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Sir, but I did not prepare slides. PPTs. Only I share video through email.
Okay, you want me to show up your video, or you wish to present yourself?
Okay. I will present now.
Okay, please go ahead. So you will be presenting your voice presentation. Just speak up what
Yes,
you
sir.
want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to one and all. This is Monica from TSWRDC Karimnagar. I'm going to say about online classes, which are mostly affecting during the days. These online classes are very useful nowadays, but so many people are missing due to the problem of smartphones because those are not available to them who are financially poor, but they eagerly waiting like these events because additionally all dignitaries not only conducting classes but additionally they also conducting so many events and programs like this through the links, so they are missing so many. So is it possible to the government to provide any alternatives like those peoples who back in position? Because 90% of people have this chance to listen the sessions or even something else which are conducted by so many organizations. This type of programs maybe leads to growth of the country vastly and qualitatively. There is no doubt in that. So the government, if want to do like this way, ignited minds will come soon to provide their potential power towards country. Ever saying only one thing is that on the earth all are potential to do miracles and make this world as a wonder. While conducting any events by any government institutions, they also have to look at the side of who are financially poor in back position, because nowadays the technology is very widely spreading, not only online classes. Additionally, besides online classes, so many events are going on, but so many people are missing due to the smartphones. Those are not available to them. So this leads to get scarcity in the usage of technology, even it is so widely connecting to each other. So the knowledge is very important, and youth have to know minimum using technology in some fields, whichever they like. Government have full of responsibility to create awareness among the people who are unable to receive the opportunities which are given by the government. Today children are tomorrow citizens, but without knowledge, how can they are? So um, if like these events, uh, if um, if we published in televisions, so many people are so many people have a chance to look in televisions. So I suggestion only is that our children will have to become citizen, but with full of potential minds in all areas. Only the best way. So,
Thank you.
through
Yes, Monica, please conclude. Please conclude, Monica.
sir, from these online classes, so many things are learning. So we learning so many, but some people are missing. So that I felt so somewhere.
Thank you.
Feeling
Thank you,
sad. That
Monica.
is, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you for giving this opportunity to present my.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Monica. Next.
We can go on to the next
Yes,
participant.
yes, ma'am. Next will be Mr. Piyush Mishra from Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences. Mr. Piyush Mishra.
Let's take the next one. I don't see him in the list.
Mr. Piyush Mishra is not there, so let me call up Miss Rudrani Datta from Arvindo College. Rudrani? Yeah, Rudrani is there. Yeah, please.
Am I visible and audible?
Yes, you are visible and audible also. Please.
Okay. First of all, I would just like to take a moment to thank the organizing committee and Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences for actually giving us this platform amidst this pandemic, hearing out the youth voices, which are obviously most of the times undermined and not given much attention to. Getting a platform to speak here is indeed a very laudable step for me.
Thank you.
Well, I would just like to start with a quote. It is a quote of Martin Luther King. He says that the purpose of education is to teach one to think intensively and critically. Intelligence plus character is the goal of true education. Indeed. So the problem statement, moving directly to that, the problem statement which I have quoted here was the vehement loophole in our Indian education system. Now, the vehement loophole which have been existing since time immemorial in India's education system is the skill inefficiency. The skill inefficiency of the so-called graduated students, the so-called students who are already getting it. The typical grades and the course which we learn is not always sufficient to make us inadept and totally efficient to meet the market needs. Now, this can only be achieved when stress would be made on making us adept with skill enhancing courses. Colleges and schools need to come up with better assessment techniques which does not judge our capability based on just a 3-hour test. Now, there have been many researchers, many claims which says that Indian engineers are not fit to be employed. Now, the country which produces some of the best mind in this very field getting tagged with such results is indeed a very dwindling picture. At last but not the least, apart from the above quoted solutions, one last solution which aims at a greater augmentation of the mass is getting rid of the preconceived notions. We need to get done with our obsession for specific fields like engineers, doctors, etc., and accept and nurture all the other new multifaceted and multidisciplinary fields. Thank you for listening me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rudrani. Ma'am.
What you spoke, Roshani, absolutely resonates with me. But I somehow have a, if I could just say, that we largely park everything on outside of us, right? As you said, that you pursuing something in life sciences, if I got it correctly. Yeah? Our fascination with sciences is our own independent decision. Like, for example, I had science principles, but I switched to psychology because I thought I would not, that's not my calling, right? We do resist pressure from parents and society when we really want to. But when it comes to academics, we somehow, the younger ones, they tend to pass on the buck to somebody else, right? So when we ask our parents or pester our parents or teachers for things which bring us joy, probably we need to bring the same kind of persistence in making the choices which are either in academics or with regards to career. And I completely concur with what you said. Your assessment can't be based on one-time examination. But do understand, India is in a way a young country. Though of course we are decades into independence, we are evolving, right? And what we could do is still things change at the policy level, at the institutional level. We are influencers ourselves, right? Instagram has made all of us influencers in such a way. And let's be the catalyst. Like you are there in Orbindo. You could spearhead a movement which would probably inspire the younger ones in your college to take up things which you feel are the right choices for them, right? My some humble submission to all of you here is let's not wait for governments and institutions to bring the change that we want. I wanted that for my generation, it has passed. And many generations past me have passed. So what you want, you start with that yourself, right? At least if nothing else, you live with the conviction and with the sense of achievement that you did not bow down to the social norms or academic norms, and life skills now are part of social skills. And also, if we feel that our education system is somewhere deficient in providing what we require, if we are aware of that knowledge, we partly can strengthen our own resources, we partly can skill ourselves instead of just letting the opportunity go by just because an institution doesn't offer it to us, right? So taking a little bit of individual responsibility will go a long way in bringing the changes that we want. Of course, governments and institutions' roles are very, very important in this entire process. Thank you, Rudrani, and I like the way you speak. Good luck and
Thank you so much, ma'am. And just a point to just reiterate the same fact which you quoted. That was the actual point which I was trying to make in the very last point of my speech, that there is a need to get done away with the preconceived notion, as exactly you said the point. So yes, ma'am, thank you for your insight as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rudrani. Next is Mr. Nikhil. Nikhil?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Nikhil Mishra from Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences.
Yes.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah. Your screen is visible now. You can put it on full screen mode and then present. Yes.
So, my name is Nikhil Mishra and I am from Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences. My department is Food Technology and I chose the topic about sensitivity of COVID-19 tests which are being conducted throughout the country, on which is the core of our data and which shows that we are having an enormously optimizing uh, recovery rate. Let's get started. So, the COVID-19, as you can see, this is my introductory slide. Now, what to get to know what about we are discussing, it is sensitivity. What is sensitivity? It is a tool which is used by statisticians all around the world to check whether the test is positive, is giving positive result, or it is a fake. So it is defined as the probability of a positive test result given the presence of disease. It measures how often a test correctly generates a positive test result for people who have the condition that's being tested for. The test that is highly sensitive will flag almost everyone who has the disease and not generate many false negative results. Now, there are many tests regarding COVID which are as follows. Uh, it is the COVID we need to understand is the COVID-19. It is a virus which can be detected by the RT-PCR, which stands for reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction. The key test performed is rapid diagnostic test. It basically detects the presence of antigen, which is a protein bound to the uh, its virus. This antigen expressed by the COVID-19 sample from the respiratory tract of a person. If the target antigen is present in sufficient concentration in the sample, it will bind to specific antibodies fixed to the paper strip enclosed in the plastic casing, which is the kit there, and generate visibly detectable signals. Typically, it takes 30 minutes to get our results. There are few feedbacks and flaws in this test, which we are going to discuss that in later slides. There is another test which is known as isothermal amplification assay. In this test, it amplifies first of all viral genome. They are faster than PCR because it does not involve conversion of RNA to DNA because of the reverse transcription. These steps typically detect fluorescent tags which read out with specialized machine. CRISPR gene editing technology modified this to perform the detection. The enzyme attached to the sequence, it colors a paper strip. The researcher expect the resulting test to be cheap and easy to use in a point of care of setting. Another test is chemiluminescent test. Chemi means of course chemical, and luminescence which produce light. So what does it test do? It is a quantitative lab test. They sample blood, plasma or serum. Sample are mixed with known viral protein, buffers, reagent and specific enzyme labeled antibodies. The result is luminescent. A chemiluminescent microparticle immunoassay use magnetic protein-coated microparticle. Antibody react to viral protein, forming a complex secondary enzyme labeled antibody and bind to these complexes. The resulting chemical reaction produces light, and which is the basis or observation, or you can say detecting point. This is how this chemiluminescent test perform, and the antibodies used are IgG, IgM, and IgA. So now, in the starting, you remember I discussed about the RTTs. So I got searched whole web and got this data, and the data is, it is expected that 34 to 80% the test is sensitive. Now, how RTT can give false result? These are as follows: the virus may not be collected from your nose or throat. The swab or mucus may accidentally contaminated by virus during collection or analysis, or it is because of due to air pressure or somebody sneezed when your swab is taken out. So that's a different that decreases the sensitivity. The nasal or throat swab may not be kept at temperature, and temperature is very important in this RTTs. The chemical used to extract the virus genetic material and make copies of the virus DNA may not work correctly. That is the technical failure, that is the failure of the equipment. The In conclusion, I would say test sensitivity of the test can be increased by only one method by after either we go for immediate test or we have to isolate them for if they have to be performed later stages. And as I told you earlier, the data regarding other tests was not available on the web, so we cannot make any assumptions about the sensitivity. So that's all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Nikhil. So please go ahead, Dr. Amit.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to comment on what Nikhil said. Uh, Good to bring this fact to light that the tests are not as sensitive, and if they're not handled, the samples are not handled well, then it can lead to faulty readings. My small suggestion to you, Nikhil, would be that when we are making a presentation to a mixed gathering, right? Some of us could, but I think quite a few of us are from non-sciences here. You could probably make the presentation or your content a little simpler so that a layman can understand, right? And maybe you could think of, are you from microbiology or biomedical science? Okay?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am. I will try to use that
No,
in
which
future.
food
department
Sorry,
are you?
food tech.
food technology.
Okay, so then your suggestion should also include what are the various ways through which we could increase the sensitivity of the available test or the precautions that a patient can take at the time of submitting his or her sample, because we're looking at solutions. And since you're from food technology, I would suggest you could probably think of certain ways through which we can increase the immunity through food, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So,
There are various
yeah.
spices in the Indian diet which, if consumed in a on a regular basis, they are help. They're supposed to increase your immunity. So that I thought everyone would be knowing. So I didn't include that point in the PPT.
No, probably not all of us are aware of the power of, food is medicine. That's what Hippocrates also said. That we should probably you could come up with certain remedies which are good for building immunity, or certain kind of food combination one should avoid during the season. Anything with regards to food, and you could probably spread the indigenous knowledge. भारतीय उसमें आप देखो खान पान में तो बहुत जगह पे भोजन को दवाई की तरह यूज किया जाता है.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
maybe come up with a solution jahan pe how we can use food as medicine, and not just during COVID times. We should treat food as medicine so that our immunity is so strong that irrespective of whatever the pathogen is, our body is in a better position to fight it. As COVID है भगवान ना करे कल कुछ और हो, right? So prevention is the cure, and the young ones, I keep saying in my class that the holistic development that we're talking about, it is all physical, intellectual, emotional, social, and spiritual, right? So जिन लोगों ने आज क्लास में बात किया, जिन लोगों ने आज सिंपोजियम में बात किया है about we have become couch potatoes, हम screen time बढ़ गया है, we all know कि blue light के कारण से melatonin production कम नहीं होता, and as a result there is also a term called chronosomnia, that people are not able to sleep because of COVID, in COVID times because of increased time on screen. So I'm glad that many of you came, and I'm thankful to our NSS team and principal sir for providing this platform to all of you. You are the young minds. You have brilliant.
Ma'am, one last presentation is there, Vivek.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just
only last single one.
I thought for that. Please. Sorry, my apologies. Please go ahead.
Vivek, please, if you can share your views. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you. First of all, sir, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on this platform. And I hope my words reach to you guys. Good morning to all my respected teachers and my fellow friends. I'm going to speak on behalf of my idea that how changes can be brought by the new education policy of 2020, and how it will be a huge step in formation of a self-reliant India by protecting our youth. As we all can see that how the world is changing around us day by day, considering our country history till now, we have left any era of our country far behind in comparison for development. Our country, India, which is well known for its rich culture and diversities throughout the world, have even produced some of the best personalities who have changed the face of human history time after time, progressing not only our country towards development, but also the whole world with them. That great of a country in modern times is facing a major problem of unemployment, due to which our youth are seeking studying opportunities in different countries for jobs, which is wasting our country resources. Is it because of the inefficiency of our government not able to produce jobs, or is it the inefficiency of youth not able to compete in this practical world due to their past knowledge? Well, to me, both can be the cases, but there is a point that has to be noted in this day-to-day changing world, why there is no change in our teaching system. If you compare a car from 19th century and a car from today's time, you will see just how much changes are made since then. But if we see the same for our country education system, it's still the same. To clearly explain my idea, I will tell you a small story. One time, a steam engine train was not moving due to heavy rain started pouring, and the tracks were filled with water. And when the rain stopped, the train was still not moving. So one passenger went to the train driver and asked him, "Sir, why the train is not yet moving?" The train driver said, "Sir, it requires water to run." And the passenger got puzzled that even after this heavy rain, he's saying that he don't have water. In confusion, the passenger asked the train driver. Then the driver replied him that, "Sir, it requires a special type of water to run the train." And just like that, what happened in the story? In our country, there are lots of youth out there who have completed lots of degree and all, but still don't have jobs because they are just like that heavy rain in the story, but only few of them is like the special water that have the ability to run the country towards its future. It's not the fault of our youth, but the fault of education system, which have not changed according to the need of modern times and focus on theoretical world more than that of practical world, due to which our youth are facing this huge problem. For instance, when one joined a company, she have to do training where where they teach you everything you have learned once again, just in a practical way. Then what's the purpose of having a degree if you are doing the same thing over and over again? And I think the new education policy of 2020 have the capability to change the old theoretical system to the new practical one. Because when one tries to learn how to ride a bike, he or she does it by sitting on it and trying to figure out how to balance it, not by learning how its part works and the rest of the things. And it always is easy to learn something when you have experienced it. The new education system can help us in achieving this goal by concentrating more on the thing which were known as extracurricular activities in our old teaching system, and letting the youth learn by experience and become that special water that runs our country and begin the step towards the self-reliant India. So no talent is wasted like now it is being. And just like what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam used to say, and which is also quoted in our today's program, the ignited minds of youth is the most powerful resource on earth. So just let's hope that this resource is not wasted and my idea of self-reliant India to new education policy becomes reality. Thank you, sir, for giving me this chance to represent my idea. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Vivek.
Vivek.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Thank you, Vivek, for bringing up national new education policy and how it can help bridge the gap between employment and the youth. I have a small suggestion to make, and that's a personal opinion, of course, as well. That we are, if there is a higher rate of unemployment in our country, one of the reasons is our obsession, as Rudrani also spoke about, our obsession with certain kind of jobs, right? In psychology, we say we all are unique individuals and we try to be somebody else. We are ruining our uniqueness. What we require as a country is dignity of labor. When we have that kind of a respect which we have for a doctor, we have the same kind of respect for a coolie, right? They both are doing their jobs. But look at the
Yes.
way we speak to a doctor and the way we speak to somebody who is probably doing a blue collar job, the way we speak to a cab driver, the way we speak to a bus conductor, and the way we speak to a CEO of a country. People want better jobs, not only for financial security, they do it because the jobs that they're into do not give them respect. So when we have dignity of labor and we do not judge people by the kind of uniform they wear, we will have employment opportunities because not all of us can be, high achievers. And achievement is not the purpose of life. I would suggest, being the young ones, all of you here, with my experience, I could tell you is happiness should be the goal of life. Happiness which does not come from, of course, substance abuse or any other kind of artificial means, but what makes you happy and not at the cost of causing grief to other people should be the purpose of life. Holistic education is, I'm repeating, or holistic development is five aspects: your physical wellness, your mental wellness, your social wellness, your emotional wellness, and your spiritual wellness. So we need to combine all of that and stop focusing on academic excellence only. अभी तो currently we already have started establishing in social sciences कि IQ के साथ साथ EQ and SQ, that's emotional quotient and social quotient, are the pathways to success. IQ can get you to a level of screening जहाँ पे of course अगर आपने टॉप किया है तो आपको IIT में एडमिशन मिल जाएगा, पर IIT में रहने के लिए एकेडमिक एक्सीलेंस ही सिर्फ काफी नहीं है, बाद में नौकरी करने के लिए सिर्फ IQ काफी नहीं है, right? So let's start with exploring things beyond academics. Let's start respecting the uniqueness which every individual brings to us. And very, very importantly, my humble request to all of you, and if you could communicate that to other young people around you, that let's have dignity of labor. Let's respect everyone for the job that they're doing. And you will see people will not shun away from opportunities of jobs which we may not like to take up right now, right? So not everybody has to be an Einstein. Otherwise, आप क्या इतने ब्राइट माइंड का क्या करेंगे? योर लाइफ, इफ यू लुक अराउंड योर लाइफ, आपका एक दिन की दिनचर्या में कितने लोगों का योगदान है, पर उस योगदान को अगर हम रिकॉग्नाइज ही नहीं करेंगे, रिस्पेक्ट ही नहीं करेंगे, तो लोग उस जॉब प्रॉस्पेक्ट में आने क्यों जाए, राइट? तो हर किसी को बहुत पढ़ाई करके बाबू बनना है, इंजीनियर बनना है, डॉक्टर बनना है, टीचर बनना, वकील बनना जरूरी नहीं है. We need as many janitors as we need CEOs of the company, right? So dignity of labor, I think, is the way forward, and that way unemployability would be taken care of because people will not be ashamed of what they do. बाहर के देशों में ऐसा नहीं है कि सारे, वहाँ पे तो एजुकेशन पे इतना फोकस नहीं है. It's so expensive, not everybody goes into college, but they're employable. Because वहाँ पे आप बस ड्राइवर से वैसे बात नहीं कर सकते जैसे हम अपने यहाँ बस ड्राइवर से बात करते हैं. And that's what they are happy doing what they're doing, and they do not have as bad. Of course, population is a concern in our country, there's no denying the fact. But छोटे-छोटे changes तो हम अपने में ला सकते हैं, so that we could bring some respite to people who otherwise do not have any source of, solace from government or any other agency, right? I once again thank all of the participants today to bring up your wonderful ideas, taking time out, thinking about it, brainstorming. We always have a scope for improvement. Think harder in terms of हम समाज को क्या दे सकते हैं, हम अपने देश को क्या दे सकते हैं, बजाय हमेशा ये सोचने का कि देश हमें क्या दे सकता है. So when we take responsibility of our own actions and think about what we can give back, we are richer people in all possible ways, right? My best wishes to all of you, and
thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, I would like to conclude the today's session, and I would like to also thank Dr. Vajpayee, ma'am, to please who at the last time she agreed to put it consent to carry out the special duty of acting as a session chair. Thank you very much, ma'am. And before we conclude, I would like to see the faces of all the participants. So if you please could join in with your videos, so that we can take a snapshot of this event. All of you, if you please, if you can join in with your video on. Thank you very much. So we will meet again someday, sometime. Thanks for all the inputs that you have got, and we are planning to put them into an abstract book, and I will be sharing it with you with your certificate of participation within the 15 days. So thank you very much. Meet you again. My best wishes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Amit.
With your permission, ma'am, can we conclude now? May we conclude now?
Yes, please. Thank you very much. You all have a good weekend. Stay safe and stay at home. Take care of yourself. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you.